Welcome to the Heartbreak Chronicles, where every story is a raw reflection of life. Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned, give us a like to show your support, and share this episode with your friends. Don't forget to leave a comment and let us know what you think. Now, let's dive into today's story. Linda stood in the kitchen, mechanically stirring the pot of spaghetti sauce, while her mind replayed the events of the past few weeks. She and Alex have been married for 10 years, and their life is smooth and comfortable, but they have lost their initial passion. Then Frank showed up. As the company's new project manager, Frank brings a fresh energy. They began working together frequently, and Linda found herself drawn to his sense of humor and enthusiasm. At first, she told herself it was just a normal coworker relationship, but as time went on, she couldn't deny the emotions welling up inside her. Linda took a deep breath and thought back to the night she'd spent alone with Frank last Friday. They worked late, and when all the other coworkers had left, Frank suddenly approached her and kissed her softly. At that moment, Linda felt like her whole body was electrocuted, and the desire she had suppressed for years suddenly exploded. "I still love Alex," Linda said to herself, "but Frank has given me a whole new feeling. Maybe I can do both?" She knew the idea was crazy, but it took root in her mind. Linda told herself that she just needed some excitement, something to make her feel alive again. The fact that it's only a sexual attraction between her and Frank doesn't affect her love for Alex. The sound of keys came from the porch and Linda's heart raced. It's about time. She took a deep breath and prepared to face the upcoming conversation. Alex pushed open the door with a tired smile on his face. "Hey honey, how was your day?" Linda forced a smile. "Not bad." "Alex, can we talk?" Alex frowned, but nodded in agreement. They sat at the table, Linda's fingers twisted together nervously. "Alex, we've been married for 10 years, Linda began, her voice quivering a little. "And you know I love you, and you know I would never do anything to hurt our marriage." Alex's expression turned serious. "But?" Linda took a deep breath and gathered the courage to say the thought that had been swirling around in her head for so long. "But I want to love her." Alex's face contorted instantly, anger flaring in his eyes. "What the fuck are you talking about? You want to love her? Do you think I can't satisfy your horny, slutty body anymore?" Linda was taken aback by Alex's sudden outburst, but she tried to remain calm. "Alex, it's not like that. I love you, but I just need something fresh." Alex slammed the table, and the chair fell heavily to the floor. "Freshness? Is it fresh fucking flesh you need? Or what? Tell me, Linda. Do you want to spread your legs at the sight of a man?" Linda felt a stab of pain and tears welled up in her eyes. "How could you say that? I was just being honest with you." "Honest?" Alex sneered. "Honestly telling me you want to fuck another man? Did you think you could just go out and be a whore if you were honest with me?" Linda stood up, her voice trembling. "Alex, calm down. I'm not that kind of person. I just—" Alex interrupted her, sarcasm in his voice. "Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. You're not a whore. You just want to be cheated on by another man once in a while. That's much better, isn't it?" Linda felt a wave of vertigo. She hadn't expected Alex to react so violently. "Alex, please listen to me. This is just sex, not love. The person I love has always been you." A flicker of pain flashed in Alex's eyes, then was replaced by a stronger anger. "Just sex? So tell me, dear wife, are you a wet mess to every man in the office?" Linda cringed, feeling a pang of shame. "You've gone too far. Alex, that I've never dash. Excessive?" Alex growled. "You fucking tell me you want a lover and you call me excessive? Do you have any shame at all?" Linda tried to salvage the situation. "Alex, I thought you would understand. If you really love me, don't fucking talk to me about love." Alex cut her off sternly. "You think love is watching your wife go out and fuck around? What kind of shit is in your head?" Linda began to sob. I just wanted to be honest with you. I thought you'd understand what I needed." Alex looked at her coldly. "Needs? Your need is to be a slut? Tell me, Linda, have you and your little lover already had sex? Or can't you wait to taste his C****K? Linda shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "No, we haven't." I wanted to tell you first. Oh, thank you so much, Alex said sarcastically, for coming to ask my opinion before spreading your legs. I'm so impressed. Linda tried to get closer to Alex, but he took a step back. Alex, please, can we talk about this? Maybe you need time to think. Alex snapped around, an icy fury in his eyes. Consider? You think you need to think about something like that? Look, Linda, I don't fucking need to think about it. The answer is no, ever. Linda's voice quivered. But Alex, if you can understand what I need. Understand? Alex sneered. Are you out of your mind with shit? What sane man do you think understands that his wife wants to go out and fuck around? I'd be a fucking idiot to agree to something like that. Linda sobbed in desperation. Alex, I love you. I really do. I just… Shut up. Alex snarled. Stop saying you love me. If you really loved me, you wouldn't be thinking about sleeping with another man. You don't know what love is. Alex turned toward the guest room and Linda asked in alarm, Where are you going? I'm going to sleep in the guest room, Alex said without looking back. I don't want to be in a bed with a bitch who's full of other men. I'll decide what to do about this mess tomorrow. As Alex closed the door to the guest room heavily, Linda sat paralyzed on the floor in a flood of tears. She realizes that her impulse may have ruined her marriage to Alex forever. In the kitchen, the spaghetti sauce was still bubbling away, but no one cared anymore. This home, starting tonight, may never be the same again. Alex tossed and turned in the guest room, anger and feelings of betrayal churning in his chest. At 3:17 a.m., the red light of the digital clock stung his eyes. He sat up with a jerk, realizing that sleep had become a luxury. Fuck this, Alex cursed under his breath. Since I can't sleep, I might as well do something useful. He quietly opened his laptop, the blue light of the screen harsh in the darkness. Alex quickly skimmed through the online surveillance equipment with a gleam of determination in his eyes. You want to play, Linda? Then let's have some fun. At 7 a.m., Alex left the house as if nothing had happened. But instead of going to work, he went straight to the electronics store. He purchased 3 voice-activated recording devices, a telephone recorder, and 2 miniature GPS locators. I hope I won't have to use them, the clerk said kindly. Alex gave a bitter smile. I hope so too. Back home, Alex begins his remodeling project. He hid a recording device by the phone, one in his bedroom and one installed in Linda's car. The phone recorder was cleverly attached to their landline. Show me what else you can hide, honey, Alex said to himself. Next, he went into Linda's cell phone account. The password was the name of her favorite pet dog and Alex sneered, how fucking naive. Billing records show a large number of calls from the same number in recent weeks. Alex's fingers flew over the keyboard and quickly looked up the owner of the number. Frank Jones, Alex whispered the name. Looks like we found the wild man in little Linda's office. Just as Alex was immersed in his plan, the doorbell suddenly rang. He glanced alertly at the clock. It was 3 p.m. Shit, Alex cursed. Linda's almost back. He quickly closed all the windows and made sure everything was back in order. When he opens the door, he sees not Linda, but his longtime friend Jack. Hey man, Jack said with a smile. I saw your car still at the house when I was passing by and thought I'd check it out. How are you doing? Alex barely managed to smile. Come on in. We need to talk. They sat in the living room and Alex told Jack everything that happened last night and the plans for today. Jack listened and was silent for a moment, then said, Alex, I understand how you feel right now. But before taking any action, you need to calm down and think it through. Maybe things aren't what you think they are. Alex shook his head and smiled bitterly. I hope you're right, Jack. But she told me herself. Jack patted Alex on the shoulder. I'll support you no matter what. If you need any help, feel free to let me know. Alex nodded gratefully. Though still hurting inside, he felt slightly better with the support of his friends. Just then they heard the sound of a car pulling into the driveway. Alex and Jack exchanged a look. It's Linda, Alex whispered. I've got to act like it's business as usual. Jack stood up. I should go. Remember, be cool, man. Don't do anything stupid. When Linda pushed open the door, she saw Alex sitting on the couch watching TV as if nothing had happened. Hi, she said tentatively. Alex looked up at her, his eyes cold. "Hi." Linda stood there, looking rattled. She opened her mouth as if to say something, but ultimately said nothing. "I'll make dinner," Linda finally said, her voice shaking a little. She went into the kitchen and started to get busy. Alex noticed that Linda had left her cell phone on the coffee table in the living room. His heart raced, knowing that this might be his only chance. After making sure Linda was busy in the kitchen, Alex quickly grabbed her cell phone. "Thank God the password I remembered." He flew open the settings and found the cloud synchronization option. Come on," Alex urged in a low voice, his fingers flying across the screen. Finally, he found the option he needed. Alex quickly set up cloud synchronization to ensure that all text messages, call logs, and photos are automatically uploaded to the cloud. He then installed the sync app on his phone and entered Linda's account information. Just as he was finishing the last step, the sound of pots and pans came from the kitchen. Alex quickly put down Linda's cell phone, resumed his original position, and then continued to watch TV as if nothing had happened. Linda poked her head out of the kitchen. "Dinner will be a while." Would you like something to drink?" Alex shook his head. "No thanks." Linda nodded and went back to the kitchen. Alex breathed a sigh of relief, but his heart was full of anticipation. Now he can view all of Linda's communications at any time. If she's really up to something with Frank, he'll know soon enough. Dinner was served in silence. Linda tried several times to open a dialogue, but was blocked by Alex's indifference. After dinner, Linda silently cleaned up the dishes while Alex went back to the guest room. Just as Alex was getting ready for bed, his cell phone vibrated. It's a synchronization notification from Linda's phone. He hurriedly opened it and saw that Linda had just sent Frank a message. "We need to talk. I'll see you tomorrow at lunchtime." Alex's hand gripped the phone so tightly that his knuckles turned white. He knew that tomorrow would be a critical day. Whatever happened between Linda and Frank, he's going to find out the truth. And in the master bedroom, Linda lay in bed, tears slipping silently down her face. What she didn't realize was that the moment she sent that message, her fate was no longer completely in her hands. The calm before the storm enveloped the home, but the tension in the air was almost suffocating. Alex and Linda both know that their marriage is standing on the edge of a cliff, and the next few days will decide everything. Alex sat in front of his computer, staring intently at the screen. Since he'd set up Linda's email forwarding, every new message appeared immediately in his inbox. Suddenly, a new email caught his attention. From Frank Jones. Topic: Weekend Camping Program. Alex's fingers trembled as he clicked on the email. "Dear Linda, I have reserved a campsite at Green Valley Campground as we discussed. The location is in Area C, campsite number 3 near the creek. How about we leave Friday afternoon? This gave us enough time to set up our tents before dark. Can't wait to spend this weekend with you. I'm already too excited to sleep imagining hugging you under the stars. Love you, Frank." Alex felt a wave of nausea. His fists clenched involuntarily, his knuckles white. Linda's reply was soon forwarded to Alex's email as well. "Dear Frank, sounds great. I can't wait either. I've got something special for us. I'm sure you'll like it. I'll tell Alex I'm going to an outdoor reunion. Looking forward to Friday, dear. Love you, Linda." Alex read the email and frowned. "Something special?" he muttered, suddenly thinking of something. He hurried toward the bedroom and opened Linda's closet. In the deepest part, he found a box he had never seen before. When he opened it, inside was a set of brightly colored erotic lingerie. "Bitch!" Alex cursed under his breath, seething with anger. He stared at the underwear, and a thought of revenge suddenly flashed through his mind. He walked to the kitchen and pulled out a bottle of chilly water. "You guys want to play, right?" Alex sneered, "Then let's play." He carefully sprayed the underwear with pepper spray, making sure not to leave any visible marks. Then put the underwear back in place as if it had never been touched. On Friday afternoon, Alex lied about working late and actually followed Linda to the campground. He found a secluded spot to park and set up his camera equipment. Through the binoculars, Alex sees Linda and Frank setting up their tent. Frank's hands were always touching Linda's body, consciously or unconsciously, from her arms to her waist, and every contact sent a tingle through Alex. Instead of avoiding it, Linda took it upon herself to approach Frank, whispering into his ear every now and then, causing Frank to laugh. As night falls, Alex adjusts the camera's night vision. By the campfire, Linda and Frank share a glass of wine. Alex saw Frank's hand caress Linda's thigh, moving slowly upward. Linda smiled and leaned over to Frank, offering to kiss him on the lips. Alex felt a wave of vertigo and nausea. His stomach flipped, but he forced himself to keep watching, his fingers tightening around the camera. As Linda and Frank dug into the tent, Alex held his breath and crept closer. He noticed that the sleeping bag was not fully drawn. Alex carefully adjusted the camera angle to focus on the gap. Through the screen of the camera, Alex saw images that broke his heart. Linda and Frank are entangled, clothes strewn about. The moonlight filtered through the tent, outlining the silhouettes of their bodies. Alex saw Linda's hand brush over Frank's chest and Frank's lips land on the nape of Linda's neck. Their movements became more and more intense, and their breathing became more and more rapid. Alex felt a strong wave of vertigo, and his stomach flipped. His hand clutched the camera so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Every image, every sound was like sharp razor blades, cutting into his heart over and over again. Suddenly, Linda's voice came on. "Oh, Frank, you're wonderful. My husband has never made me so comfortable." Alex felt a sharp headache and blacked out. He wanted to storm in. He wanted to yell. He wanted to question Linda as to why she was humiliating him like this. But he forced himself to remain calm and continued to record it all. After a while, Linda suddenly said, "Honey, I have a surprise for you." Alex watched as Linda pulled the erotic lingerie out of her backpack. "I prepared it especially for you," she said to Frank daintily. "Do you like it?" Frank's eyes lit up. "God, Linda, you're so sexy. Put it on." Alex held his breath as he watched Linda change into that lingerie. Frank couldn't wait to pull Linda into his arms, and the two of them made out fiercely once again. However, it wasn't long before Frank suddenly let out a shriek of pain. "What's going on?" "It hurts." Linda began to squirm in discomfort as well. "God, it's hot. It hurts." Alex watched as they writhed in agony, trying to get out of that underwear. Their panic and discomfort caused Alex to feel a mixture of emotions, both the thrill of revenge and a deep emptiness. All weekend, Alex had been silently recording Linda and Frank's every move. Every intimate glance, every touch, every laugh became evidence in a future court of law. When Linda arrives home, Alex is ready to confront her. "How was camping?" Alex asked coldly. Linda was slightly flustered. "It was fine. The team building was a success." "Yeah, I bet Frank's really good at team building," Alex said sarcastically. Linda's face turned instantly pale. Alex continued, "Don't pretend, Linda. I saw it all. You were in the tent, and you said I'd never made you so comfortable. Every move you made, every moan, I recorded it." Linda sat paralyzed on the couch, tears falling like rain. "Alex, Shut up." Alex snarled. "Our marriage was over from the moment you suggested a lover. Now, let's talk about the divorce." He pulled out the prepared divorce papers and tossed them on the coffee table in front of Linda. "Please think carefully," Alex said coldly, "about ending this." At the sound of Linda's sobbing, Alex walks toward the window and looks out at the sunset. He knew that after this night, his life would never be the same. But no matter what, he was going to walk on with his head held high. The pain of betrayal will eventually pass, and he, in turn, will be reborn. Alex sat in the waiting room of the law office, clutching a folder full of evidence. His eyes were bloodshot from days of no sleep, but his expression was unusually determined. "Mr. Thompson, the lawyer can see you now." The secretary's voice interrupted Alex's thoughts. Alex walked into the attorney's office and cut right to the chase. "Mr. Wilson, I'm suing for divorce. My wife cheated on me, and I have hard evidence." Attorney Jack Wilson scrutinized the material provided by Alex and nodded. "The evidence is very strong indeed. We can begin preparing for divorce proceedings immediately." Alex nodded, then took a deep breath, resisting the urge to mention Frank. He knew that his plans for revenge would have to be carried out outside the law. After leaving the law firm, Alex begins his investigation. Through some personal connections, he quickly found out Frank's home address. To Alex's surprise, Frank is actually married. The next morning, Alex came to Frank's house. He took a deep breath and rang the doorbell. A lady opened the door. "Hello. May I ask who you are?" Alex looked her straight in the eye and said heavily, "Mrs. Jones, there is something very important I need to tell you. This may come as a shock and pain to you, but I think you have a right to know the truth." Mrs. Jones looks at Alex in confusion and invites him inside. Alex sat down and slowly opened the folder. "These are the proofs that your husband Frank and my wife Linda were cheating on each other." It contains their email exchanges, photos of dates, and even more intimate videos. Mrs. Jones took the folder shakily, and as she flipped deeper through it, her expression changed from confusion to shock and finally to deep pain. Tears began to well up from her eyes. "No, this can't be," she muttered, but the evidence was too strong to deny. Alex sat quietly, giving her time to digest the blow. After a moment, Mrs. Jones looked up with determination in her eyes. "I want a divorce. I'm going to contact a lawyer now." Alex nodded. "I understand how you feel. I'm also preparing divorce papers." After leaving Frank's house, Alex went straight to Linda's office. He strides into the office area and all heads turn to look at him. Linda saw Alex and her face instantly turned pale. "Alex? What are you doing here?" Alex laughed coldly and slammed the divorce papers heavily on Linda's desk. His voice raised so that it could be heard throughout the office. "Linda, these are our divorce papers. You'll never have to sneak around behind my back to go camping and fool around with other people again." The office was silent as everyone watched the scene in shock. Linda shuddered. "Alex, please, can we talk in private?" "There's nothing to talk about," Alex said coldly. "Oh, and by the way, you'd better warn your good lover Frank. His wife will probably serve him with divorce papers soon." Linda's face turned even paler. "What? You went to Frank's wife?" Alex gave a cold smile. "Yeah, I think she has a right to know the truth. You better be careful, Linda. I wonder if Mrs. Jones will come after you." With that said, Alex turned and left, leaving Linda mortified as the crowd looked on. Stepping out of the building, Alex took a deep breath of fresh air. Though his heart still ached, he felt a sense of relief. He knew that from this day forward, a new page would be turned in his life, and Linda and Frank would have to face the consequences of their actions. Late at night, Alex sat alone on the couch in the living room, a glass of whiskey in his hand. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. He frowned at the door and hesitated, but got up and opened it. Standing outside the door was Linda, eyes red and swollen, obviously having cried. "Alex," her voice trembled. "Please, can we talk?" Alex looked at her coldly, but sidled up to let her in. "Go ahead," he said briefly. Linda sat down and the tears began to well up again. "Alex, I know I've made a terrible mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. Life is so dull. I need some excitement. Frank gave me that freshness, and I couldn't resist the temptation." Alex interrupted her. "So your solution is to betray our marriage? That's very creative, Linda." "I know I hurt you," Linda sobbed, "but we've been together for so many years. Are all those years of affection so worthless?" Alex sneered. "Emotions? Yeah, feelings are great. So good that you can ruin it for a little excitement. That was just a moment of confusion." Linda said eagerly, "Frank means nothing to me. It's you I love. It's always been you." Alex stood up and walked to the window, his back to Linda. "You know what? When I saw the image of you and Frank together, I felt my heart being torn to pieces. Every time you moan, every time you say he's better than me, it's like a knife in my heart." Linda lowered her head and burst into tears. "I'm sorry, Alex. I'm really sorry. I'd do anything to make it right. Make amends." Alex turned around, pain and anger in his eyes. "Some things, once broken, can never be fixed. Trust is what it's all about." "But we can rebuild trust," Linda pleaded. "Give me a chance, Alex. I'll prove it to you. Alex shook his head and interrupted her. "No, Linda. The marriage is over. It was dead from the moment you decided to betray me. You must pay for your behavior." "Alex, please." Linda stood up and tried to get closer to him. Alex took a step back. That's enough. I've made up my mind. You've received the divorce papers. Sign them and end this. Linda broke down and fell to her knees sobbing. I don't want to lose you, Alex. I love you. Alex felt a wave of exhaustion as he watched the woman he once loved kneel before him. But I don't love you anymore, Linda. Your betrayal killed my love for you. Now, please leave. Linda looked up at Alex and saw the determination in his eyes and finally realized it was over. She slowly stood up and wiped away her tears. I understand. I'll sign those papers. She walked towards the door and gave Alex one last look back. I'm really sorry, Alex. I hope you'll forgive me someday. Alex didn't answer. The moment the door closed, he felt a wave of relief and a touch of sadness at the same time. He knew that an important phase of his life was over. Shortly afterward, Alex received the divorce papers signed by Linda. Looking at that familiar signature, years of memories came flooding back like a tidal wave. But he didn't waver. Eventually, the judge officially dissolved their marriage. Alex walked out of the courthouse and took a deep breath of fresh air. The sun was warm on his face, and he felt a relief he hadn't felt in a long time. Alex stood in the sunlight and contemplated the experience. He learned that trust is the cornerstone of love, and once lost, it's hard to rebuild. Betrayal not only hurts the betrayed, it destroys the betrayer's own soul. But he also realizes that life always goes on. The pain will eventually pass and new opportunities will always come. It's important to learn from your mistakes and to value people who are truly trustworthy. Alex gave his first genuine smile in months. He knew that a new life was waiting to be explored. The haze of betrayal will eventually pass, and he, with the lessons learned from this experience, will come to appreciate every future relationship, every genuine affection, even more. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have a story to share about your own or someone else's experience, please feel free to contact me. Take care.